I show you how to do the thermal paste change on the original Xbox. Take off the GPU and CPU and pop off the heat sink there so we can change that out. This is, never been opened up in 23 years, so it's probably time to check it out. It's been working well, but I just want to make it last a lot longer, so we're gonna do it. All right, upside down, I flipped it over. We're gonna have 6 screws. I opened this one up first. I just took a little scalpel there and exposed that one. There's another one right over here. Underneath there, you can kind of see that indent. So we're gonna have to do the same there. And then we got on each 4 of these, each corner there's a screw underneath, so we're gonna have to pop those off. I have a few things here we're gonna need. I just got that star bit in the impact gun there. For the screws, I got the thermal paste compound, the MX4 right on Amazon. I heard that works pretty well. Got a scalpel, knife if we need it, Q-tips, and some acetone. Okay, so I just pulled these off here, and there's a little like glue around it, so I just had to scalpel around it, pull that out, and then I exposed that one. So we should be good to pull this off now. Okay, now that we got the shell off, we're gonna have to take off the hard drive and disk drive. We're gonna have to pull that out. Now there's 3 screws here. They're a T10 torque bit. Right around there, 1, 2, and then 3 back there. Pull that out. As far as removing, it's pretty simple. There's just an ID connector and then this drive wire there going in. So we'll pull that out and then let it pop out. Hard drive and disk drive are out. I just had to pop this ID cable out right down there and then just popped right out. And then the other terminal was right here. That just popped right out to the yellow cable there. So got my screws here. It all came out of that. I had to go run after the T10 bit for a socket for that one, but I had that on site. So like I said, this is 22 years old. It hasn't been opened up. It's pretty dirty. I'll blow all that off, but I've got a air compressor there with a little hose on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and lightly blow that out. Okay, so I went ahead and blew everything out. Everything looks a lot better and nothing really catches my eye or sticks out, is leaking or anything. But while we're in here, I know I read on forums quite a bit. A lot of people talk about that clock capacitor, which is that one right there. It's the C7261, I think. But basically in these older models, they'll leak and then it'll kind of ruin the motherboard. So we just want to keep an eye on that. If you see that capacitor leaking out or something, you're going to want to either clip that or change it out. But I'm going to keep an eye on that one. It looks fine for now, so I'm not going to touch it. But I'm going to go ahead and get to moving these, pulling these out so I can change that paste out. But we're gonna have to pop those thermal clips off and get in there. I'm gonna use this black piece right there to pry off. I haven't really touched it yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so I popped off this one heat sink here. Came off pretty easy. I just had to kind of sit there, and I got these tweezers here and I just kind of pried it, pushed down and pried out. Which popped right off. This one I got to work at a little more. This just pops up. The same thing, I'm gonna have to push down and push out that way. Okay, so I have this one heat sink off on the left, and this one's able to pop off easy. Now the one on the right is really stubborn, and you're gonna have that problem as well if it's been on there 20 years. So basically we got to heat that up and allow it to, you know, become loose, and then we can pop it off. People take a heat gun. What I do is I just plug it in and let it warm up for, it's probably going to cycle off in 3 minutes because it's throwing an error code right now. But, which is fine. Just don't touch anything while it's doing it. No power supply. Don't touch anything in there. But I'm going to let that go 3 minutes, probably let it go again afterwards, and then we're going to try popping that off once it's warmed up. Okay, so after a couple minutes of that running, it just popped right off really easy. You can see it's pretty dried up, so that's pretty good for 20 some years, 22 years. So I'm going to go ahead, I've got 100% acetone there. I'm going to let it sit on there and rub it off with Q-tips. Same thing down there. We're going to get that off and clean these up as well. All right, now I got those all cleaned up. This one is all clear. That's just a little staining on the outside, but that's all off. I made sure. This one as well. You can see the old outline there. And there we have them all cleaned up. I'm pretty happy with it. It's about 45 minutes of work right there. So you definitely got to be patient. And I took a Q-tip to go around the outside and then cleaned it up with a toothpick inside. So just kind of dig out around the ridges there, and it helped. So basically now I'm just going to take the thermal paste, the MX4 that I bought, and I'm gonna go with an X right here. And then basically on the one on the right, I'm just going to put a dab there about the size of a grain of rice. And then we should be good to go. And there you have it. We got them all popped in now. Just make sure this clip here is to the front of the unit. And you push that down. Other than that, you're all good. And then we'll just go ahead and pop those back in. And then fire it up. Reverse the steps we used to take it out to put back in. Got the DVD drive plugged back in. Now we're just going to screw it back down. Just make sure you got this wire right up in here in this groove. And then pop it back in just so it sits flush in there. And everything's in there all tight and good. And there you have it. Now I took the impact gun there and I just screwed them down very lightly. I didn't want to put too much torque on it, but we're all good to go now. So thanks for watching. Hope that helped.